Samsung has honestly improved its mid-range devices the past couple of years. They went from being these cheap phones with noticeable drawbacks to these affordable devices with flagship features and competitive price tags. And today we're checking out the Samsung Galaxy A13, specifically the camera, shot entirely on the A13. Let's get right into it. With the Galaxy A13, Samsung has opted for a 50 megapixel primary camera along with a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Flipping this device around, you can find a selfie camera of 5 megapixels located in the top center of the screen in a teardrop notch style. The primary camera truly delivers decent images in well-lit environments. To be quite honest with you, this camera can push out flagship quality pictures in ideal lit situations. Its 50 megapixels are downgraded to 12.5 pixels, and if you zoom in, fine details start to lose sharpness and look more like a watercolor painting. Uncropped shots taken with sufficient lighting definitely look good enough for social media use. The A13 truly struggles in dim lighting though. There's no dedicated low light mode, and the dynamic range on this camera isn't the best. It's really hard to get good images with an unstabilized camera if the lighting conditions aren't ideal. Portrait mode performs considerably well due to the presence of the 2 megapixel depth sensor, but in some photos the blurring is seen around the subject, such as in my hair on this specific image. So let's talk about this front-facing camera. And if you are considering vlogging, this is what you can expect from it. I'm gonna walk around. It is a 5 megapixel sensor compared to, I believe, was an 8 megapixel we got last year. One thing that I have noticed is it's not the best, honestly, when it comes to dynamic range, as you can see here. The lighting condition out here is pretty flat. It is a little bit harsh over there with the sunlight, but the area that I'm in right now, it's not too harsh, but for some reason it tends to overexpose practically everything. I do have a darker skin tone, but clearly you can see that it is struggling. As far as the audio quality, it's actually pretty decent. It's pretty windy outside, not extremely windy. It's like on and off. But if you're wondering how that sounds in such conditions, this is what you can expect from the A13's front-facing camera. One mode which I really like is the burst mode, which allows you to take multiple shots at the same time. Also, the GIF mode is cool, and it allows you to convert any videos you shot into a GIF. Samsung also does a really great job at keeping the Pro mode, which allows you to control the shutter speed and ISO, which is wonderful for those who want full control over their photography. At 2 megapixels, photos from the A13's macro sensor are not the sharpest. They're also aggressively sharpened, but the details are maintained decently. However, I think it would have been ideal if they just used a single camera system that was capable of also shooting macro pictures. I kind of feel like the macro camera is just present for the sake of having more cameras. I will say this, some images in well-lit conditions were pretty impressive. Flipping this device around, when the lighting is really good, such as outdoor lighting, the image quality is impressive, but truly lacks dynamic range. Now, when in low-lit conditions, the images just resemble water paintings. To be honest with you, they're just not sharp at all. There's noticeable amount of grain and softness in the image, but considering the price point, the selfie camera is good enough for just social media use like Snapchat. The A13 can shoot up to 1080p at 30 FPS, but the quality of the video is not great to look at since there is no video stabilization available on this device. And if Samsung is claiming there is any, I don't see it, which is a bummer because there are other devices that are cheaper than this phone that support video stabilization. Now, the video quality is decent and has a lot of noise when taken in low light environments, and the colors are okay. Dynamic range isn't the best when it comes to the video side of things. It tends to lose detail when it's overexposed or underexposed. In conclusion, I would rather have a single camera with great dynamic range rather than a bunch of cameras that complement that main camera but don't deliver nearly as much. Now, don't get me wrong here, this is good for its price point, but it definitely can be better. I'm just tired of manufacturers throwing a bunch of cameras on the back of their devices or boosting the megapixel count and calling it an upgrade. Samsung is not the only manufacturer doing this, but I can say they definitely offer one of the best camera systems at this price point. Next year, I don't mind seeing 2 cameras that truly complement each other. Last year we got 4 cameras with the A12, and this year we got 3 cameras with the A13. So hopefully we'll see some improvements with less cameras in the next iteration. My name is Victor Kamanga. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one. Bye.